I told you that the condo market was getting hit really hard and now things are actually getting worse. To give you a little context, if you didn't watch those videos, the first one was about condo complexes having their master insurance policies dropped due to things like high fire zones. And the second was about huge special assessments and how those can even prevent people from getting financing. Well, this recently came out. This is from a Now BAM article where they analyzed markets that have more sellers than buyers in the market, but specifically condos across the United States. Right now, there are around 83% more condo sellers than there are condo buyers. And while if you're looking to buy a condo, now might be a time to get a really, really good deal, you also should be really careful, understanding that there's a lot of unknown that could happen in the future, whether it is with your insurance or whether it is with maintenance on common areas. I've talked to people who knew that there could be additional expenses down the road, such as an increase in HOA dues or special assessments, but they had no idea that things like that could prevent them from being able to sell the property in the future. If there's no master insurance policy or if there's a large special assessment, it can be really difficult for anybody to get financing when they're looking to purchase one. And then the only available buyers would be all cash buyers. But you also have to think about who is interested in buying a condo if they're going through those issues anyway.
Yeah, Miss Lady, that condo market ain't marketing right now, man. This next clip is going to explain why some homeowners feel stuck. Let's look at it.
I bet there's a lot of like little personal stories from people that actually live in condos right now that are trying to
100%.
grow their family somehow, some way, right? They want to move on to that townhouse or freehold property, but they've been dropping their price on their condo for 6 months and still not selling. And it's just like, man, I can't imagine what those people are dealing with right now. Right?
I was gonna say, that's the interesting part about real estate is like, whether the market's great or bad, life changes. So if you got married recently, you want to start having kids, but you're in a condo and you don't feel like you have enough space, you will at some point attempt to make that transition, right?
This next lady in this next clip is going to also try to figure out reasons why your condo ain't selling. Let's see what she got to say.
This is for condo sellers in the greater Toronto area. Is your condo currently on the market and not selling? Have you taken a closer look at your listing? Did your listing agent specify amenities that are included with the maintenance fees? That can be a huge selling feature for any condo, especially in a market where there's an abundance of inventory. I was just looking for a buyer client who has very specific requirements of the amenities that he would like. And in the last 5 minutes, I just came across 10 condos that have none of the amenities listed on the listing. And this is such a big no-no. It's literally going to put you at the bottom of the list. Your listing is going to get passed up. And in a market where there's so much inventory, you're going to continue to sit on the market. And if you're wondering why you're not selling, that may be why.
Your Minneapolis condo is not selling, and I'd love to share with you 3 secrets on how to get that condo sold. Number 1, it's got to be priced right. And number 2, for sure, there's got to be some updates. And 3, it's got to be staged.
So let me tell you about this condo unit that I've been watching. I watched this unit. It was listed before. Crazy high price. Now it's at one point bringing in higher pricing because maintenance was low. The whole 9 yards. It was great. However, maintenance is now up and the pricing has slipped a bit, which is relevant, right? When maintenance goes up, pricing goes down. So I see this one unit. It's been listed by one agent and now it's been listed quite a bit lower by another agent. Now, the lower price is more in the price point, so I can see it being listed. So we make an offer on the unit. So I think the offer is reasonable. It's workable. At least if you list it for that price and if you know what's selling, you would know that it's reasonable. And I don't know what sort of games people play, but agent says, well, I kind of need more time. For what? Like, I gave you an offer. It's within the ballpark. You know, what do you need more time for? And then he comes back and says, well, your offer's too low. So you need more time or you need more money? Which one is it? And I think if you start working on the offer, the time may increase, and the money may increase too. But to blatantly ask someone for more time, because your client's not available according to them. If your house is on the market, you should be ready to receive offers and deal with them. So now I understand why your place is not moving, because you're playing games. That's all I can say. And honestly, like if you're not, this is the market where tactics like that really don't work. Now, if I'm representing the buyer, I'm representing the buyer, and it's their best interest that I'm representing.
If your condo isn't selling, I can almost guarantee it's not the market, it's the strategy. And the good news, every issue has a fix. Reason number one, the price doesn't match the building. Condos are hyper localized. You're not just competing with the neighborhood, you're competing with units in your line, your floor stack, and your amenities. If you're even slightly overpriced in your building, buyers will jump to the next unit. Reason number two, the photos and marketing don't highlight the lifestyle. Condo buyers shop with emotion. Views, amenities, walkability, design. If your listing doesn't tell that story, you become invisible. Bland photos and generic MLS descriptions don't cut it anymore. Reason number three, the condo association is scaring buyers. High HOA fees, unclear reserves, or messy financials can tank interest fast. Buyers want clarity, not surprises. Transparency is everything. Here's the fix. Dial in the price, elevate the presentation, and package your condo's financials so buyers feel confident walking in. Was your condo previously listed with another agent with little activity? DM me. I'll audit your listing for free and tell you exactly what's holding it back and how to relaunch it the right way.
Thanks for the information on the condo selling my previous brother and my sister. Look, this next clip is a story time. She gonna get into why she can't sell it. Let's get into it.
Be very careful where you buy a house. I have this property in Atlanta that I'm trying to sell for 4 years maybe that I can't sell because of the fucking HOA. Not because my property is not attractive to buyers, not because there's anything wrong with my property. The reason I can't sell that bitch is because the HOA is shit. They don't have any reserves. They don't have any financials. They cannot provide any documentation for a lender in order to clear the property foreclosed. First of all, they're not on the FHA approved condo list, right? Then again, with no budgets, even a conventional loan require you to submit a budget to show the health of the HOA. They don't have that. I don't know what's going on with the liability insurance. It's just shit. And I want to sell that property so bad, but I can't now. So when I put the property in the market a couple of years ago, I listed it for $239. I put a lot of money into that property. Got 2 or 3 offers. The first one is FHA. We tried doing a special approval thing that didn't work because they couldn't provide a budget. They didn't have a budget. So I was like, okay, we can only accept conventional loans. Conventional loan came. They still can provide the basic information that Fannie Mae requires in order for them to underwrite the loan. Couldn't even do that. So I lost those buyers. Then I eventually pulled the property off the market because I was like, I'm not doing this. Right? So I put the property off the market and I put it on Airbnb. I monitor the market. Because now they can only accept cash buyers and investors, the prices of that community has just dropped because people that want to sell, that are desperate to sell, have to reduce their price to get an investor, to get someone that's buying all cash, that's not going to be requiring financing to buy. And so the price went down from, what I had mine listed for. But now they're selling for $165. $150 I've even seen some of them trying to sell for. And again, it's because of the fucking HOA. The HOA is $315 a month. Them bitch don't do nothing. The gate has been broken for years. To get to use the pool, the community pool that you pay in HOA fees for every month, you have to have a security clearance because they have like a signed or somebody that's manning the pool that you have to show that you live there, proof of residency. It's just stupid and I want to get out so bad. The takeaway for this is if you're buying into a community that has an HOA, particularly a condo or a townhouse, look at the fucking HOA. Because when it's time to sell, if they're anything like this bitches over here, it's a headache. It's a nightmare.
Okay, this might piss some agents off, but let me tell you, it's the truth. Congratulations to the local agent at the level of sheer dumbassery that she displayed this morning on our phone call. And let me frame the scenario. So I show 7 properties yesterday and I leave the best one for last. I thought it would be the best. It was a condo. It had a great floor plan, a brand new kitchen and a beautiful view right out the back, right down the fairway, just perfect. And my clients loved it, except it smelled like a 1992 bar with cigar smoke. So, and I wore this jacket yesterday because, it's Florida. I don't have a lot of jackets. So I still, 24 hours later, smell like a cigar, like I have been smoking stogies for a year. And so I smell like this. This agent calls me and says, "Hey, Kim, are your buyers going to write an offer?" And I'm like, "Hey, no, they loved it, but the smell, the stench, even now today, I still can smell this on my clothes." She goes, "Oh, well, that seller never even smoked in the house. No way. There's no way." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I don't care where he was smoking, out in the lanai, out on the greens. I don't know where he was smoking, but I can tell you that place smells like cigar smoke." And so she was offended. I'm like, "Are you kidding me, lady? Lady, I am giving you feedback to help you sell your condo. My buyers are not going to buy it smelling like that. Your sellers probably want to smell it, and it might cost an ozone treatment and a layer of paint to get that out of there, but something needs to happen." So again, I would recommend that if an agent is giving you feedback on your listing, you might just want to listen and take some constructive criticism to help your sellers. That's what I would do. Just saying.
Sound like some drama to me. This next lady, I always see her in the TikTok streets talking about condo, why you shouldn't buy this, why you shouldn't buy that. I keep seeing her, but she gonna tell you why you shouldn't buy a condo. Let's see.
No one buys a condo thinking the value is going to go down. Most people always assume that real estate always goes up. But what a lot of people don't understand are the hidden risks behind buying a condo that can not only crash the value, but make your unit nearly impossible to sell. And what's wild is that it has nothing to do with what it looks like on the inside. If you're thinking about buying a condo, already own one, or are an investor just trying to understand the risk, you need to watch this before you're stuck. So today I'm going to be explaining why condos can lose value faster than single family homes and how to spot the warning signs early so you're not the one asking, "Why isn't this selling?" Hi, I'm Justine. I'm a Phoenix real estate agent and investor, and I did not learn this stuff in a textbook, guys. I learned this by making mistakes and having an extremely hard time selling my condo, and I'm here to share with you so you don't make the same mistakes I did. I'm a brand new creator here on YouTube, so make sure to like and subscribe. It helps my channel a lot. Let's get into it. When people hear impossible to sell, they think I mean that no one will ever buy it, but that's not usually what this means. What it really means is that your buyer pool shrinks fast, lending becomes hard or impossible. You start hearing people say cash only, deals fall apart halfway through escrow, and price reductions become your only tool. Meanwhile, houses in the same price, same part of the city, same market are still selling normally. So it feels personal, like you did something wrong. But most of the time it's structural and not emotional. Here's a major difference between single family homes and condos that people don't think about. When you're selling your single family home, you're just competing with the houses on the street. But in a condo complex, you're competing with every single unit, and there can be a lot. If one owner underprices because they're desperate, if one investor has a bad tenant, if one owner lets their unit go to crap, that instantly becomes a comp for you. And they're gonna base the value of your house on what that one sold for. And you can't opt out. So you could have the nicest complex, the most renovated unit, and your value is still gonna be decreased because you can't control the supply. When HOAs underfund reserves, delay maintenance, or keep fees artificially low, it feels fine at first until it isn't. Then you start seeing deferred maintenance, special assessments, insurance premiums skyrocketing, and lawsuits that nobody wants to talk about. And lenders hate uncertainty. The moment the building starts showing signs of legal or financial instabilities, lenders back out. They're not gonna give any loans. And once lenders stop lending and only cash buyers can buy, well, the value starts dropping fast. Cash buyers don't pay market value, and there's not very many of those buyers. And typically when these issues start to arise in a condo complex, it's not just one owner trying to sell. It's usually a lot of owners realizing, oh my gosh, this is going a bad direction. I gotta get out of here ASAP. You could see an entire building for sale. So let's talk about financing in unwarrantable condos, because this is the part that most people don't realize until they're under contract. Some condos can become what's called unwarrantable. And what that simply means is that lenders have decided that they can't take the risk on it and they're done lending in that complex. And this can happen for a lot of reasons. Too many rentals, underfunded reserves, lawsuits, insurance gaps, or just too much high investor concentration. And the scary part is you can have perfect credit, great income, look like the perfect candidate and still get denied for a loan because of the unit. And when buyers can't get loans, the value is going to free fall. Houses don't deal with this kind of risk. What happened with my complex is that it was warrantable when I bought it and I used a conventional loan to buy it, just for it a couple of years later to become unwarrantable and crash the value. Unfortunately, one of the ways that complexes try to become warrantable is to increase the fees to fix the problem, but that in itself creates an even bigger problem because the higher your monthly fee is, the lower the value of your property goes as well. So like my complex, they've pretty much tripled the fees, but it's still unwarrantable. So the fees are so high, which has also hurt the value, but the complex being unwarrantable has double hurt the value. It's a lose-lose situation. And single family homes just don't have these kinds of risks. That's why in changing housing markets, you see condos getting hit first and recovering last. So let's talk about why houses recover better. Houses are a simpler asset. One owner, one budget, one insurance policy, one decision maker. There's no shared walls, there's no shared financial reserves, and there's no HOA votes that can change the whole fate of the complex overnight. And on top of that, you actually own land. And that's why we see houses recovering faster and holding their value much better than condos do. Let's talk about green flags and red flags if you're still considering a condo. But I want you to keep in mind that even if you buy the condo and it looks perfect on paper and all green flags, that doesn't predict the future. The only thing that you're looking at in condos is the historic data because no one can predict the future. So you must be aware that things can change like it happened to me. But if you're thinking about buying a condo, the things you really need to make sure are that the reserves are healthy, there's no lawsuits, the complex is warrantable, the common areas are well maintained. You need to look at all the reserve studies, all the financials. You need to read every single document, rule, and CC&R. You need to understand how the board votes and go to every single board meeting. You want clear, strong insurance coverage, and you want to make sure that there's a high homeowner percentage of occupancy and ownership. You don't want a ton of investors in there. If any of these things feel off, you're not just buying a home, you're buying into a shared risk and liability. This isn't meant to be anti-condo. Condos can absolutely make sense for someone when the building's well maintained, the reserves are healthy, the HOA is healthy, and the buyer understands the risks and trade-offs. But condos are not passive purchases and they do require understanding and awareness. I know I regret buying this thing, but I want to know what you think. House or condo, leave it in the comments. If this helped you, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure if you know someone considering buying a condo to share this with them as well.
And she done broke it down. And I said TikTok street, she actually be in the streets moving around. She broke it down. But this next guy, he gonna give you a whole presentation. Good information. Let's see.
Now, Krishna condo owners are stuck right now, and most of them don't even realize how tight the situation really is. If you bought a condo between 2021 and 2023, this video is going to hit hard on. Because right now, selling does not make sense. Renting barely makes sense with the cash flow out there. And even holding the property feels very painful. So let's see what is actually happening. In today's video, I'm going to break down 3 hard truths about condo owners in Kitchener that they are facing right now. So in today's market, many cannot sell without taking a loss. And renting the unit does not even cover the monthly carrying cost on that one. And holding for a long term with current interest rate and condo fees, that strategy is getting more expensive every single month. But here's the real question. Is this a temporary pain or a deeper structural problem in the condo market? I'm going to walk you through real numbers, mortgage payment, condo fees, rent averages, resale values, so you can clearly see what a typical Kitchener condo owner is dealing with right now. And at the end, I will also show you that what today's condo buyer are thinking, because that shift in the mindset is changing everything. Now, if you own a condo or thinking about buying one, you need to understand this before making your next move. Hello everyone, my name is Parth Soni. I'm a realtor based in Ontario. If you're looking to get in touch with me, you can book a one-on-one call with me. The first link in the description. Now, the very first thing, let's understand what is the current scenario right now in condo. So if you see over here, the current average price as based on the February of 2026, average price of condos is $386,000. And for the past 3 years, you can see based on the graph, it's going slightly down. So in 2024, it was $425,000. 2025, $412,000. That was a 3.2% decrease from 24. And in 2026, it's $386,000. That's roughly 6.4%. So if you see over here, there are 338 homes were sold in whole Waterloo region. That includes Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo, and 4 townships as well. Now, out of them, condos were 48. So, 42. So, 42 condos were sold in the month of February of 2026. And here's the interesting part. If whether you're a seller, buyer, or investor, this is a thing that you need to check on. That is a month of inventory. If you see over here in the middle one, so this is a month of inventory in 2026. We are sitting at 6.4, which is really high as of right now. So it's still considered as a buyer's market. Anything above the number of 6, it's considered as a buyer's market. So what it means by this is there are more sellers in the market than there are buyers to buy that condo in the market. And if you see the average as of right now in the whole of Waterloo region, that is sitting at 2.6. So still it is considered as a sellers to a balanced market. This number, whenever you see a number below 3, it is considered as a seller's market. Between 3 to 6, it's considered as a balanced market. Anything about 6, so this is basically 6 months of inventory. Anything about 6, it's considered as a buyer's market. So in condo, particularly in 2026, we have 6.4 months of inventory. We used to have like 5.7 last year, then 2.8 last year, that is in 2024. So that was the time, like you can see, now more number of sellers out there, and that's why the price is coming on a negative side. Now let's take a look at this one when the condo market peaked. So back in April of 2022, that was the peak of the condo market in Waterloo region. Prices were in a range of $598,000. That's the average price. And now, based on the current market data, the prices are $418,000 in the month of February. And again, these are the average price for whole Waterloo region. So there is a whopping difference of roughly $180,000 with the people who purchased at the peak versus the current market value. Now let's take an example of an investor who bought it at peak. So let's say if someone bought it at April or February of 2022, they bought it at a peak price. The purchase price was roughly around, I did the check on my Realtor portal, and was roughly about $590,000 for 1-bedroom condo. For 2-bedroom, it was close to $700,000. So $590,000 as an investor, you need to put down $118,000. That's 20% of it. So the loan amount comes at $472,000. Now at that point of time, back in 21 and 2022 initial months, the interest rate were close to 2%. Many people are getting less than 2%, but for investor, I have considered 2%. It's what many people are getting at that time. So based on that number, the monthly mortgage comes at roughly $2,000. Condo fees $400, property tax $250, and if you see all those numbers, the monthly carrying cost of that particular condo, based on the peak price, comes at $2,800. Now, many investors who bought it at peak are facing this challenge, that is renewal in their mortgage. Many of them who got it at 2% right now, most of the mortgages are renewal in approximately to 4 to 4.5%, depending on the profile. To carry the same condo after the renewal in the mortgage happens. That is very steep for many investors. And because of the price point, not many are able to sell at the loss, or if they have to take the hit, it would be almost $100,000 to $150,000 as we have seen. And when the selling cost and everything involved, it's close to $160,000 to $180,000 based on the current market scenario. Now let's answer the real question: why all of this is happening? Because this is not just a price correction. This is a total demand reset. And there are 6 major factors or forces which is causing this shift. The very first one in this one is the market demand has changed significantly. Back in 21 and 2022, demand was emotional. People weren't buying based on the brand. They were buying based on the fear, basically FOMO, fear of missing out. And also fear of being priced out forever. And there was also fear, like if they don't end up buying today, they will never able to afford real estate again. But today, buyers are calm, they are analytical, they are negotiating, the urgency is gone. And when you don't see urgency, and when the urgency disappears, basically the prices soften or it comes down. The second factor is the interest rate. Now, this changed the equation, which we just talked about. Back in 2021, money was cheap, borrowing power was massive for many people out there. A buyer could qualify for significantly more with a 1.5 to 2% interest rate. And today, even though rates have come down from the peak, but still it's dramatically higher than the pandemic level as of right now. So what does this means? Because of the rate, it means that the lower affordability for the actual buyers who want to buy. And because of this, there is a smaller buyer pool. They're still waiting for rates to come down and things like that. And we also have tighter qualification rules for investors in place. And what happens when the borrowing power shrinks? Prices follows that, and it's basically simple. When the prices come. The third thing in this one that the psychology has broken, and this is the most important one, which not many people are talking about now. People no longer believe that the property once you buy it appreciates or doubles every 5 years. In 2021, everyone thought like real estate only goes up. Buy now, you can refinance it later, just get into the market, all those kind of stuff. But today, buyers are asking some real questions. Like recently, some of the buyers asked me, like, what is the rental cap on this one in case in the future if they decides to uh, get a bigger house and just rent out this one? What could be the cash flow on this one? What are the risks in this one if they get condo versus a freehold property? So there is a shift in psychology shift, which is very massive, and people are asking this kind of question, which is really, really. And right now, real estate is 50% math, but 50% confidence as well. And confidence is very low as of right. And that's my main goal through this YouTube video, and through this channel, is to provide you folks with a clarity so you have a better confidence with your decision. If you like this kind of video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. The other factor in this one is the new inventory. So if you have a property, so you will be competing with a new inventory. Builders are giving huge incentives as of right now, and government is also supporting that with good amount of incentives coming from there. And many times, if you're getting new at the same price, then buyers will naturally gravitate towards that kind of product, and that put pressure on the resale. The other shift which I am personally noticing is like work from home versus back to office as of right now. So many buyers during the pandemic came to me, reached out to me to get something in Krishna Waterloo, Cambridge area. Right now, many of them have a hybrid job, so they have to be in office 3 to 4 times a week, and it's not feasible anymore as of right now. So they are still, some of the clients are still moving back in Toronto core downtown because of all this back to office demand. And if you're someone who's still planning to buy a condo, anyways, here are the top 5 condos that you can. And the other factor is purpose-built rental. Many builders are coming up with this kind of product, so you are naturally competing with that as well. Even though that's a totally different segment in the rental space, but what happens with that is, let's say if something is coming at a very cheap, then buyers might delay their decision of buying a condo, and they will wait for 1 or 2 years more and rent it out rather than buying something. Other factor is immigration and student. Now, demand isn't linear in this one. Yes, we have a strong immigration in Canada. Still, in the Waterloo region, good student district. Not all immigration converts to buying a condo or buying something immediately. And we have seen the fluctuation in the student demand as of right now, like how much it dropped. So those are the factors also affecting the condo market, and it will also have significant impact in the coming future as well. So here's the bottom line. Krishna condos are not crashing, they are just normalizing, which is happening with most of the market. The people who bought it at 21 and 2022 or between 21 and 2023, they are not bad investors. They just bought at a very different economic environment with cheap money, emotional demand, aggressive growth during that time. And today it's a very different game. We have a higher carrying cost, we have a smarter buyer, more inventory, more negotiation power, and the market like this, strategy beats emotion. Now, if you own a condo right now, you only have three smart options: to sell it strategically, not to react on the pricing and things like that, what is happening in the market, and have a clear long-term hold plan. Or you can reposition that asset to improve the cash. But doing something without understanding your number, that's not. That's the real risk. And if you are a buyer watching this might quietly be one of the best negotiating windows that you have ever seen in the US. The key is knowing what to buy and what to avoid in the current market. Now, if you want me to run the real numbers on a specific condo in Kitchener Waterloo, rental potential, resale value, holding cost, or anything like that, that can help you to make a decision or have a better decision and a better idea, you can book a call with me. No pressure, just data. Because in this market, clarity is power. And people who understand this kind of cycles are the one who win the next. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next.
Hey man, he really broke it down for y'all and for me too, cause I didn't know what I didn't know. He told me he done educated me. He educated me. Hey man, this job talk to him. But if y'all know anybody who's going through this, man, let me know. If y'all want to see people who's regretting buying a whole condo in general, look at this. Click this video right here. I'm gone.